What's up, everybody? Welcome to System Crafters Live. I'm David Wilson, and this week we're back with another live stream on Fridays where we get together as a community and talk about whatever topic that I've come up with. And apparently I'm lacking in sleep enough that I can't order my words correctly today, so this is going to be real fun. So last week I had some internet issues toward the end of the stream. I'm hoping that won't happen again this week, but I'm already seeing some fluctuations in the bandwidth, and we've been having some weird stuff going on, like at 7:45 at night, my internet starts dropping out entirely. So that seems about the right time for what happened last week. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to be going on this week the same way, but I hope not. But if the stream does drop off, just know that there's some chance that you could jump over to Twitch instead. So twitch.tv/systemcrafters. Last week, for whatever reason, the Twitch stream stayed up, even though the YouTube stream went down. So that's one way you might be able to catch the rest of the stream if it does happen to go down again, but it might go down entirely. So we'll see what happens. Yes, I need to get some internet company technicians out here to look at it because something really weird's going on. I don't know what's happening, but we've had all kinds of really weird stuff happening after installing a security system. So I think something got broken. Anyway. Thank you all for being here today. Those of you who are here so far: Gunn, Richard, Alejandro, Daigo, the Foss Enjoyer, Case, Elijah, Thomas. Thanks so much for being here, folks. I appreciate it. So let's see. Alejandro says that the Geeks guys are angry about my intervention at the Geeks conference. Well, fortunately, Geeks doesn't have anything to do with this problem. Hey, Jeff. So, updates. I've been hacking a lot on my Mesh language project this week to prepare for the GitHub Game Off game development jam competition thing that's going on right now. It's basically a month-long game programming competition where they give you a topic and then you make a game out of it in a month's time, and then they rate the games. I don't really care so much about the rating. It's more about just making a project. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to be streaming as much as possible. I don't know if the internet will let me. Some of the work that I do on that project for this month on the Flux Harmonic channel, both on YouTube and Twitch. It's Flux Harmonic Live is the actual username for those. So definitely come check that out. Probably will be streaming tomorrow afternoon my time, so maybe a few hours before the stream normally starts. So it would be the time that I would start streaming for that. But yeah, it should be fun. Definitely come check it out if you're interested in seeing some live game coding using a Lisp or Scheme-derived language. Case says, no Lisp game jam. Well, I wanted to do the Lisp game jam, but I had so much work to get Mesh back into a working state again after a pretty big design change I made to it that I just didn't have time to do that, unfortunately. I would love to, though, but maybe next year. Gunn says, you'll have to fix your start time on the website. It's 1600 UTC, not 9:15 a.m. Yeah, definitely. That has been out of date for a long time. Let's see. Ashraz says, what are we up to today? I'll tell you in just a second. Hello to Anton. So, and I also will mention, as I've been mentioning every week so far, if you would like to support the channel and learn a lot more about Emacs in the process, definitely check out the book Mastering Emacs by Mickey Peterson. It goes into a lot of detail on various different aspects of Emacs that we didn't really get a chance to cover on the channel so far. So if you would like to have a book that you can read that can teach you more about Emacs, in addition to the videos you see here, then you can go check out Mastering Emacs at this specific link, masteringemacs.org/r/systemcrafters. If you use that link, a portion of the proceeds goes to supporting the channel, so it's a really cool way to support the channel and get a really good book about Emacs at the same time. And if you buy the book, every time there's a major Emacs release, a new update of the book comes out, so you get all the latest information relative to what has been described in the book. So it's a really good resource that is sort of a living resource. It gets updated over time, so it's really nice. And that's it for the spiel. So this week, we're going to continue what we started doing last week, which is to craft a configuration site generator to replace an org Babel based configuration, literate configuration, and website based on that. I discussed this a little bit last week, but I've just sort of gotten tired of having a literate configuration. I would rather just be writing code instead of having to like deal with snippets of code and documents. I might change my mind on that in the future and go back to literate, but at least for now, I think I just want to try it without any org files. So I still would like to produce a nice website from my config because, you know, people can use it as a resource and it gives me a place to sort of explain my rationale for the way I did things. So I'm trying to build my own tool for this purpose. Last week I talked about one that someone sent me called Hawk Emacs. Here we go. Let's go to this one right here. So this is a pretty cool project that does basically the same thing. I was sort of inspired by it. Looks like the site has changed layout slightly since the last time I saw it, but what? Invert? Cool. You can randomize a theme. There's new little candies here apparently. So anyway, this is a pretty cool project that does a similar thing. Definitely check it out if you're interested in this idea because it's a lot farther along than what I'm making. I'm sort of just making it just to see how I would do it maybe differently. And I'm trying to use things that are built into Emacs first before I start trying to like write my own code. So that's just a experiment in trying to do a similar thing. But this is a cool project. You should definitely check it out. Let me drop that link in the show notes actually, so that you can get that too. So inspired by Hawk. Okay. So I'm going to close Firefox because it keeps eating all of my resources. It makes things really choppy. All right, so the desired features, just sort of to recap from last time, I would like it to use the same syntax highlighting theme as I do in Emacs so that the site looks like my Emacs config, basically, which is very easy, apparently, with the stuff that we started using last week. Linkable line numbers, which may not be as easy as I hoped. Possibly generate permalink folders for older commits. So like if I start adding more commits to my config, then maybe you should be able to see links to older versions of the config on the website, but not a super huge priority. It's just something I might like to do if I was able to. Some basic method of formatting the contents of comments in the code, including links to other files. That's something that the Hawk project does really nicely. They basically just use Gemini, Gemtext syntax, which is like a line-based formatting syntax, which is very simple. Thought it was a pretty good idea, so I might try to do a similar thing. Basic file tree pages and header footer for navigation, so being able to basically generate a file tree so a person can see the file listing of your repository. And possibly define function names to generate a table of contents. So if you have like a code file that has defuns or functions in your Emacs list, might be nice if you could jump to the different functions by having a table of contents at the top. Twitch fidelity is not the best. That's great. Great news. And it would be nice if it was good for generating literate documentation sites for code projects, because I might like to use it for my mesh project as well, to be able to have basically a documentation site that has all the code, but it has documentation as well. Kay says, I honestly don't get why you wouldn't just use Markdown or org mode, because it's a project to do. I mean, what am I gonna do? Just use things that already exist? I have to use my creativity and make new things. Of course, I'm copying someone's idea in this case, but it's a topic for a stream. This is why we're doing it. All right, so let's get back into it. So I have the repository up at come on. Oh no, cancel. I start trying to use my Emacs key bindings inside of Rofi, and things really go bad. So, not a good thing. So, .weaver is the name we came up with last time. So, davidwills/.weaver.el. See also Daco. Oh, I see what you're saying, Case. Case is saying, why don't I use Markdown or org mode syntax? Well, both of them are harder to parse if I have to do it myself. So, Daco. That sounds familiar. What did I just see? Yeah, that's not the kind of thing I want coming up on the screen right now. Let's see. Quick and dirty documentation site generator. Is this the one I'm thinking of? It's newer. Let's see. Is this an example of one? Let's see. Never mind. Anyway, this is the site, anyway, or the repo so far for .weaver, if you want to go take a look at that. And let's just jump right back into the code. I have another tab open here for that, and I'll open up .weaver.el. Stream seems to be doing okay so far. I'm glad to see that. So let me close this out and let's just review what we've done so far, because I don't even remember. I haven't looked at this code since last Friday, so we'll take a look at what we've been doing. So the way that this thing starts up is that we have, I'll eval this buffer. We have a .weaver generate file, yeah, generate current buffer, and we're using this HFY or HTML fontify package that comes in Emacs. The chat reflector lags, yeah, I'm not surprised. So HTML fontify buffer comes in the box with Emacs, and it basically allows you to take a buffer and just turn it into an HTML page as it looks on the screen. Whoa, that thing is really lagging. Way worse than I thought. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. It's really behind. Anyway, so just this function by itself will give us a pretty good result. I'm going to use the httpd serve directory and serve this output folder. And then let's pull up localhost 8080. Why don't you like that? Am I supposed to do like HTTP? Oh, let's see. What files do we have in there? Nothing. Okay. Well, let's get it running again, because I've made some changes right before the end of the last stream, and we'll see if we can get it going. So to continue looking at what we had done so far, so the generate file function is sort of the more important one, because given a particular file path, you're able to generate the output for it. So we just open the buffer, we set this page header, which I'll talk about in a second, then we run HTML fontify buffer, and then with the output, we write it out to an HTML file based on the current file name to the desired output path. And then there's also a generate site function, which I don't think we got working last time, which should go over all of the tracked files in the Git repository. And then, which basically does that by running this git ls tree function. And then it should run the same generate file function on all those and basically just generate a whole site. So hopefully that will work, but I'm not sure that it will work yet. So we're gonna find out. All right, let me try running this, see what happens. Yeah, not working. Void function .weaver generate site. I thought I eval'd this buffer. ESXML, okay. So I think I used straight to install this last time, so I have to do it again. ESXML. So, whoa, not that. This one. So what I was talking about before with the page header part is that there's a variable from the HTML fontify package which allows you to customize how the header, or basically the first fragment of the site gets generated, all the stuff like the HTML head, you know, everything leading up to the body. And you can customize that function to use whatever you want for generating output. And in my case, I'm calling into this function that uses SXML to XML, which allows me to sort of templatize the site using S expressions. So I just turn S expressions into HTML, and then I can use that to generate the overall template of the site, which I'm using basically right here, I think. So just another way to make it more Emacs Lispy for fun. See what happens. Uh-oh. Losing data. Hey, Manuel. Okay, so let me see if I can get this running again. I believe this should evaluate now that I installed that package. I output archive offline IMAP create yes. I want it to just do it. I don't want it to. Wow. It really is trying to create files for all these, but at the same time, it keeps prompting me for whether it wants to create a folder or not, and I'm getting a little bit annoyed by this. There's another thing that I noticed that was happening. Wow. Okay. I really don't want it to go so far into all this stuff. I probably need to have like an excludes list, so I'll just add one of those right now. So if I have any def vars, let's see. Def var dot weaver exclude, well, should I do that as a variable or should I do that as a parameter? How about this? What is it, args? I don't even remember defund syntax. Was it optional? Rest. Okay, there we go. Rest. Can we do keyword params in Emacs list? I can't even remember. Doesn't matter. Args. And then there's I think a plist function, isn't there? Plist get? Cool. I can do that. So I'll also say ignore list, plist get args ignore. And then with ignore list, if I can skip those files, so if, let's see, what's there like a starts with? S starts with, that comes from the S package, which is not built in, so maybe I need to find another prefix, string prefix P. Return non-nil if prefix is a prefix of string. Okay, that comes in subber. That's good. Add a P option like in make dir. Yeah, I need to do that, but I think that the way that I'm saving the files may not allow it very easily. So if string prefix P, prefix would be anything in ignore list. So I need to do a any. Yeah. So any comes from F, but I don't really, oh, sorry, it comes from dash, but I don't want to use dash. Okay. There must be a built-in function for this. So if any of you know what an any function is, like a functional any function, like this, basically, let me know if you know if there's one that's built in. Sum? Oh, is that it? Where does that come from? Oh, CL extra. CL sum. Say whether predicate is true for any element in the sequence. That's what I want. I didn't really want to pull in anything from CL, but whatever. Require CL extra. Okay. Hey, don't do that. Clearly, I can't use key bindings today. Yeah, they're definitely from dash.el. All right, so if I were to try CL sum lambda x string prefix, maybe I should just write this out completely. CL sum lambda ignore prefix. Starts, is that what it was? String prefix B. And then it was ignore prefix and hold up. Yeah, if we know what the string is already, let's just do a little let here. Just experimenting. Okay, so let path, some path. I don't know. And then, excuse me, path. And then we will then use a list containing some, none, I don't know. Returns true. Let's change this path to path. Run this again. Hello. Returns nil. Okay, so that does basically what I wanted to do. In this case, I would do a similar thing where if CL sum lambda ignore prefix, then string prefix, wow, Lispy bites me again. Prefix P, ignore prefix, file. And then we're gonna put this from the ignore list. Now, I also need to do this here, and give it an empty list so that we don't, like if it isn't specified, we shouldn't bother trying to look it up. So then we got the if. So, all right, I think that's good. Now, when I call this, I should be able to say ignore, and then I'm gonna say, well, nap, let's see. I need to do this before I expand the file name. Message file is, I don't know if that's the right syntax. That's what happens when you switch between Scheme and Emacs Lisp. Seek find. Nice. Return the first element, that's good enough. And that's from seek.el. All right. I like that better. Whoops. Seek find. Let's see if it gives me the same result whenever I use it down here. Okay. Execute. Nil, that's correct. And then if I say sum path here. Okay, returns sum. Good. Works. Ignore git. Yeah, well, I should need to ignore git because I'm already pulling the listing of files from the git ls command, but I need to ignore some other folders, which I don't want. VC file tree walk and a collecting lambda, really? VC file tree walk, that's cool. Invoke func fee args on each VC managed file F underneath it. Well, that's nice. See, this is why I do this on stream, so that people can tell me all the nice, cool functions that I didn't know about. We'll try that one next. So try VC file tree walk, because that would be a lot better than what I'm doing here, I think. So let's see this work first. So I think all the paths that are returned by get ls tree are relative to the repo path. So this should probably work. In fact, I might not even need to write that out. I will use the .archive because I don't want anything in the archive folder showing up. What else might I not want to show up from my .files folder? Backgrounds, fonts, bin. Okay, so there's a few things. Let me just pull up that buffer again so I can write them down. So archive, .bin, .github, .gnu pg, which is not tracked, so it probably doesn't matter, but we're gonna find out, I suppose. Shortcuts. Is that some kind of Termux thing, I think? Whoa. Okay, .site. Then backgrounds and fonts. Okay. That should do it. And I will just comment that out real quick. Let's see what happens. Let me try to run this again and see if it barfs completely. Actually, I need to reevaluate this function first. And then this function. All right, so void variable ignore. Did I do something dumb? Ignore, yes. Okay, so ignore list. Or ignore prefixes. Let's call it that. That's better. Okay. Searching for program. I don't want that to be run anyway. So it's happening in after save hook. I wonder if I can... You know, I think maybe what I can do is set after save hook to nil, because it's a hook, which should make it possible to set it dynamically in the scope. So I want to just keep that from being executed. I was trying to find another way to do that before, but it didn't work. So maybe this works. Sure did not. So, wait, what? You're trying to write this file? I told you not to. Take a look. Input files. Do list tail. That must be some internal compiler stuff. You find a prefix don't export? Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So if not, and this is in the way now, so let's get that out of the way. All right, we're gonna run this again. Ashraz is correct. Okay. Is this build.yaml? Well, okay, I don't want that either, but that's fine. Can I turn off? So, what's it called? Lexical binding. Okay, lexical binding is on in this buffer, but I think replace, excuse me, if with unless, yeah. Shows how often I'm using these macros. Trying to get this after save hook to stop doing what it's doing, because it's calling this affiliate function. I don't want it to call any of these whenever I try to save the file, and it's happening up in generate file, I think. I'm using, oh, actually it's write file. Hey Charlie, thanks a lot. Yeah, this, I tried doing this read-only mode and it didn't do anything. And write file I thought would avoid the hooks, but apparently it also does not. Maybe I should just do it here too. So if I were to say after save hook, well, do I have like before save hook too? That's okay. Try it again. I'm gonna run this and then execute this and run this function one time. Nope, still doing the same thing. What about really setting this to nil should be the right way to do it. To get rid of what I don't want to have happening. So Emacs set hook dynamic scope. Yes, Alejandro, the file name will be the file name plus HTML. That's right. How to get back in this tab? Emacsdocs.org. Is this a legitimate website? Okay, I've never seen this before. Proper use of dynamic bindings. Use local bindings for customizable variables like casefold search. Yes, well, why is it not working with this dynamic variable? Okay. Let's see. Yes, I think it does have dark mode. I did not click it while I was still there, but it was blinding me in the meantime. Really strange this doesn't do anything. If I set, wait. I guess the question is this actually buffer local variable, which is dynamic for sure. If I set it here, then it should take the change. Gotta love the print plugin. After save hook. It should be nil here. Yeah, I have lexical binding turned on right now. Okay, so let's see the buffer. After save is nil. If I go back up, let's check this out. This might tell us something. What if I do this? After save, I'll take this and move it up to this location. You know what? I wonder if because I'm changing to with current buffer, this is the place where I need to turn off after save hook. Let's try this. Let after save hook nil. This might be actually the problem. So I'll delete that out and I'll put this in here. I think that when I switch buffer, it has a different value for after save hook. I didn't save what I did. That's one of the nice little things about Emacs Lisp. So we'll eval this and then go back to eval this, then eval this one more time. Okay. Wow. Okay. Not so smart, am I? Swap into fundamental mode after creating the HTML buffer. That's not a bad idea. Well, if I do that, I think I might lose highlighting or syntax highlighting. I need that when I... Oh, no. No, you're right. Let's try it. See what happens. So I should be able to just run this again. What? Does it take a parameter? That's funny. Non-standard. Okay, I think, damn it. Thought that worked for a second. Chat should be redirected to standard error. Wow, this is really annoying. Let me see. Write file, which I'm calling. Then it goes through all this other stuff. Save buffer, basic save buffer. All right, so Emacs prevent after save hook. Stop running a hook in certain modes. Well, what that? Set queue local after save hook nil. Maybe. That might be one way to get around the issue. Let's see. Set queue after, oops, set queue local, right? Local after save hook nil. There's a good chance that might actually do the job. So let's see. Jeez, man, this thing is serious. I wonder though, is it that stupid one buffer that's doing this? Let's take that back out. I will take this line out. We'll take this line out. I want to just see it with after save hook nil here. Where is that build buffer? This one right here. Let's get rid of that because I think that one may still have the stuff set in it. And then we can try running it all again. So I'll go down here to the generate site function. No. Where are we? Still have to build.yaml file. I'm gonna get rid of that one too, because I don't like it. I don't want it in the output. So let's put it right about. Put it here. Then whoops. What did you do? Okay. Move it down, down, down. Okay. That way we don't see that one anymore. Now we've got other legitimate, potentially legitimate ones. I don't want Ardor configuration. This just shows me how this is not going to be a nice way to deal with this site. Config.ardor. Config/ardor. Lots of stuff I don't want showing up. Yeah, I don't have any chat commands. Oh, I guess maybe that's the Nightbot thing, right? Okay. Move the fundamental mode outside of the let. Good question. Let's try putting it right here. That let doesn't work, so I might as well just get rid of it. Okay, so now run this generate site again. Man, this thing is persistent. Is there like a... No? That, right? This thing does not want to go away. No commands for the bot. Yeah, this bot doesn't do anything except for spam the chat. All right. Hold up. Right, okay, that's right. The right place. Well, let's get rid of the read-only mode stuff. That could work. Try this. We'll get rid of this let, because I don't think it's doing anything. Okay. Re-eval. Then go eval this again. Nightbot is definitely lurking. I need a consistent way to deal with this. Let's see. Write file. So does anyone legitimately use this? Usually there's references another code, but apparently this function. Oh, find all references. Here we go. I want to see if any other package is using write file, and maybe there's some hints on how I could leverage it appropriately. Write file, file name confirmed. This is in some kind of format thing. Write file. After save. Ooh, run hook with args after change function. Oh. After save. Before save. After change. What is this? After each text change, okay. .get, yeah, something like .get ignore. That's probably something that would be needed. Undo inhibit modification hooks. Don't run any of the hooks that respond to buffer changes. Okay, what about inhibit startup hooks? Okay. Nothing like that one for the, wait a second. Go back. Inhibit modification hooks. There was a link to the manual, wasn't there? Change hooks. Info apropos. After save hook. Wasting a lot of time on this one stupid problem, in my opinion. I don't know if there's a way to restrict info apropos to one manual, because I'm looking at everything unnecessarily here. All right, here we go. Thing. Write file functions. Any of the functions in this hook returns non-nil. The file is considered already written. Okay. What was the other function? Write contents functions. Okay, that doesn't have anything. Too many places where you can extend this, I think. Other primitives and functions that write buffer text to files. Auto-saving doesn't run hooks. So hook. Interesting. So then if we find out what autosave is doing, autosave mode, whatever, get in here. Oh. Unzipping something. Oh, it opened it up there. Autosave mode. Oh, it's autosave file, okay. Where does it actually happen? I don't see it happening. Do you? Save. Buffer. Basic save buffer. Get a chance for job of saving. Yeah, I don't want it to do that, but maybe if I look at the code. Okay, so it's actually a function. That's good. What does it call? Man, that's a lot of code. Jeez. How much code do you need? Okay, so the save happened here somewhere. X message says, just installed Geek Slack last night. So much to learn. Yes, there's a lot to learn indeed. Basic save buffer 1. Is that what it is? No description. Does the real job of writing a buffer into his visited file and making a backup file. Okay. It's what is normally done, but inhibited if one of the write file functions returns non-nil. Basic save buffer 2. Layers and layers. I think I can just use that basic save buffer 1. I don't know if that's the wrong thing though. So, because I see it doing like whether the directory exists. Well, it would, but like if some random person wanted to run this, then I have to make sure that it doesn't catch them too with whatever thing they have installed. So here's what I can do. Inside of .weaver, instead of write file, I believe this is a function that doesn't take any... Let's see, concat, expand file name. So buffer file name. I can set buffer file name. And I'll do this part here. How about that? Hey, here we go. Okay, so we're setting the buffer file name, and then basic save. What was it? Basic save buffer 1. Shellcat it? Nah, let's not go that far. Okay, so excuse me. Don't need fundamental mode. So if I set that, what else do I need? Oh. So make directory. Make directory, what was it? File directory. File name directory component in the file name. Okay, so file name directory. In fact, let's do file name output path. HTML file path. And we can take this. Drop it right here. HTML file path. HTML file path, and then put a true there. Now let's see what that does. Maybe this will do something. Okay, seems to be working now. All right. Whoa. No such file or directory. Yeah, interesting. All right, so let's not put the OBS configuration in the output, I guess. Oh. There we go. There's some advertising. I think I should skip any like obvious image file. That's gonna be another little problem. But first of all, let's go take a look at the output folder. Wow. I think it put it... What did it do? Oh, okay. All right. So did it get anything from Emacs-D? eShell. Okay. So it's got a couple things in here. So let's check the actual site. No. Ah, there we go. Or how about, oops, how about Emacs-D? Come on now. Okay, so it did sort of work. All right, so that was a little bit of progress. I don't know why we had to go so far to do it, but I guess it's just because of the way Emacs works. But that's okay. So if we were to go look at the code again, sort of understand what it is we just did. Go away, go away, go away. Weaver, okay. So in the end, what it required was to manually mess with the buffer. So I take the output buffer from HTML Fontify because it creates its own buffer to store the contents of its operation. And then I set the buffer file name to the actual desired output path. I make sure that the directory exists already, the output directory exists. And then I use this basic save buffer 1 function to save the buffer while skipping any save hooks, because we don't really need that. We just want it to write the buffer out. We shouldn't really have to do that, but apparently that's necessary. Okay. So then what? We still need to be able to make it through all the files, and I think that we had some issues with certain file extensions, so maybe we also need a way to have certain file extensions that don't get included. Let me think real quick. about the best way to do that. I mean, we could have a sort of an exclude list for that too, but it just seems a little heavy-handed. Let's see, binary. Just looking to see if there's any kind of like function I could use for this, but probably not. Image, file. Am I using Crafty Emacs yet? No, I haven't been working on my config at all, so I haven't like spent any time to like move things over. I should though. Could you introduce globbing patterns or regexes to the exclusion list? Possibly. Regexes definitely are more likely that I could put them in. Let's see. So string match, right? Match string, string match. Return the index of start of first match for regex in string. String match P, that's what I want. So string match P. Let's see. Instead of using string prefix P, I could say string match P. And then expect these to be regexes. Now, I'm not sure. String match P. Dot archive dot star. I don't know like what format it's expecting this. It's probably not the right format. It wants like the Emacs style regexes that I don't really remember how to write. So dot archive, and that dot might be a problem too. Probably needs to be escaped. Dot archive slash tmux 0, which is probably right because it's giving me the first index where it matches. How about this? Archive slash no. Dot config slash whatever. Okay. Arch. Okay. Yeah. It needs to be slash. Okay. All right, so that works too. So it seems okay. So then, if I just steal this little thing here, then I could do. It would need to be anchored. All of them would need to be anchored, which is a little bit unfortunate. I would prefer not to have to do this. But it definitely gives a lot more flexibility. I guess, technically speaking, I don't need the star at the end, right? Because it will just catch those paths. Let's see. Yes, the spammers are back. I could concat the symbols. That's true. But in some cases, I don't want them. Like, for instance, if I wanted to say dot star dot png. Let's try this. Test.png dot star dot png $. Okay, so that does work. Okay, yeah, so dot star slash dot png, and then needs to be at the end. Double escape in strings for regexes. Really? Seemed to work. JPG. Yeah. All right, so if I get rid of, well, let's see, ignore, we'll call this ignore regex now. I'll go up here, whoa. What change did I make? Okay, there it is. Going right here. So ignore prefix is now ignore regex. Okay. And then I can eval this whole thing and then eval this again. Wow. I'm sorry if that deafened all of you, but I did not expect a wave file to get played right now. So there's another one. Wave. That needs to go away. What other surprises are we going to get here? I think it's hitting org files. What's going on? Okay, it's doing stuff. It's finished? Maybe it did it. Let's see what's in emacs.d. This folder, please. There we go. I don't see my init.el file, though. Okay, well, there's that file. Nice long ding, yes. Sorry for that. Load the buffers without their respective mode. Well, I don't know if I can. Let's see. Am I... Yes. Okay, so... Well, I need to do it, though, because I need the syntax highlighting. Ah, yeah, good point, Gun. Hello? Is the sound in the stream still going, or is Alejandro pulling my leg? Okay. So I think that's, pretty good. Still not working perfectly yet. Let me go to, is there not an index? Oops. Okay, so we got some stuff here. Now that's funny. It's rendering out an org file literally. So let's not do org files either. We can do those some other way. Okay, and I'm gonna go delete this output folder so we can sort of start fresh. Yes. And then run it again. Takes a little while. Oh, did it finish? What is this guitar template thing? Is that in my .files folder? Clearly, I don't know. No, it's not there. That's pretty weird. Anyway. Okay, so we have my systems files. Yeah, this all seems to be working. If I go to / Davey Will systems, look at acid burn. That seems to be rendered out. All right, so that's good for right now. Ashraf says you can check whether a file is binary with some magic. Well, I'm interested in the magic if it's usable. So what I would like to do is fix the font and also make it smaller. And I think I know a way to do that. And let's go to my config and to my org present configuration. I believe I can use this base remapping A list in the buffer to change how everything looks. Use file. Oh, the file program. That's a good point, actually. I hadn't thought about that. But it sort of requires that you're on a system that has it. Buffer file coding system is no conversion. Okay. Buffer file coding system, UTF-8 Unix. Coding system to be used for the encoding the buffer contents on saving. Yeah, it makes sense. If it's binary, then they're not going to do anything, right? We could try that. Let's go to .weaver. When I open the file, let's see. With current buffer, find file no select. I can first set this local face remapping A list. And I'll get rid of all this stuff here. What I really want is just to set the default font, or possibly even, well, what is my default font, in fact? Face default. JetBrains mono, okay. And then I can set the height to something else. So this says height 1.5, but I actually want to make this a lot smaller. Maybe a specific font size. So, and then it's based on variable pitch. I don't want that. I want that based on default. I don't know if that's even needed, the way that I just did that, but we'll see. Now the question is, HTML fontify, blah, 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 blah. Once all this is done, I need to go back and revert it, because if this buffer is already open, it's gonna totally jack up the way that it looks. Face remapping A list. Reset the face remappings, and probably I need to make sure that I'm not gonna like delete someone's actual customization on that. Or maybe I could override it in the with current buffer. Okay, yeah, maybe I could override it here so that I don't have to fiddle with it. Face remapping A list. Let's see if that works first. And then we can try calling it directly. Why did you delete? Fantastic. Okay. Benoit. All right, so I'm gonna execute. Whoa, what did I do? Sometimes I just press the wrong key. Okay, so we've executed .craft generate file. I'm gonna try running this, and what I'm hoping to see is that the that's funny. That shouldn't do that, but it did it. I want to see if the actual output gets smaller. Doesn't seem like it, does it? Did those files get updated just now? Systems. Not, yeah. Okay, got rewritten at that point. Why didn't it change? Also want a more basic font. Standard monospace fonts for websites. I know that I can just use monospace. I guess Courier. Safe web fonts. Courier is a traditional monoface font. Monospace font. Yeah, I don't really want to use Courier, but let's try it anyway. So height and what is it? Family? No, font. I don't know if this is even gonna work. Let's see. So I noticed that zero cool a Windows computer? No. How does the source code of the generated HTML file look at the moment? That's a good question. Are these all open? Yeah, of course. So acid burn. Still looks the same. It doesn't look like it got affected by it. I think that I'm doing it before this with current buffer gets called. So at this moment, we should be inside of the buffer that was opened by find file no select. So we're setting the face remapping A list there. Seems like a broken unclosed H2. Huh. No, it's definitely that the file is sorry, the font is way too big. So if I go into the file again, all right. So if I right click on it, inspect, let's see, font size 26 point. Yeah, so I think 26 is quite large. What if I go here and change this to like what, 14? That was the delimiter. How about I go to this keyword here? 16, no, not 2616. Yeah, even 12, even 10, even 8. That's probably more reasonable. Huh. Alejandro says, is it possible to use HTMLIs to generate a CSS? Well, Control Keyboard minus. I don't want everybody to have to go use Control Keyboard minus to like zoom my website. Yeah, it definitely is possible to use HTMLIs to generate a CSS, but there was a reason why I didn't do that. I can't remember what it is now. So I think that the size of the font is definitely coming from the, sorry, I was thinking about something. It's definitely coming from the way the font size is set in the font courier, in the buffer. Courier, thank you. All right, so we got the face mapping A-list set back. I'll go put this one back too, just to see if that has an effect. Load that and run .weaver generate site. Probably need to set the font size even smaller. Okay, so if I reload this, it didn't seem to help. Let's make this much smaller then. 150. I'm gonna change this to, let's say, I don't know, 50. How about that? Did not do anything. Is 150 a percentage or a fixed size? It's supposed to be a fixed size. But maybe I should go and set percentage 0.5, let's say. And I don't know if oh, HFY font zoom. Thank you. So it's good to see what this actually does. Font zoom. Where is this used? Okay, so from an Emacs font height attribute height. I suppose that is something we could set. Okay. Now, I haven't checked yet what happens whenever you use a float. In TTYs, the default face has height of 1. Okay, so... Oh, if not... Gotcha. Well, we'll try setting the HFY font zoom next. I think that might be the key if this current approach does not work. Let me try this again. I don't know if this base remapping needs to be nil here, or if it's fine the way it is. I'm trying to override what's in default. I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing to do that, but maybe I'm breaking it.